Hi there, welcome back to the Parenting Millennial Family. My name is Sharon Kongo, and we are a community of Christian parents, and this is a safe space where we can come to learn and share on how we can be better parents so as to bring up a godly generation. So, welcome back for those who are coming back again, and for those who are new, we are happy to have you here and we hope that we can learn and share from each other. So today we're just going to pick up from where we last left off, which was talking about our children and their different temperaments. We had looked at characteristics of a strong-willed child. I'll leave the link in the description box for that video, and then you guys can just go ahead and watch it. Today we are going to talk about characteristics of a compliant child. If you remember in my last video, I had given a bit of a background as to a study that was done by a doctor called Dr. C. James Dobson, who took a sample of 36,000 parents who were raising children from the ages of 0 to 24 years. And that is how this study was conducted. And they got to discover the different characteristics our children have and whether they are born with said temperaments. And it was found that yes, we are born with our temperaments and our characteristics develop from birth. So today we are going to look at compliant children and characteristics of compliant children. We are going to start with number one, they are most likely girls. Yes, females tend to be more compliant than men. And I think that is why we are more nurturing as women, because we tend to be a little easy, in terms of relating. Number two, a compliant child is more likely to be a firstborn, and they are identified from the month of 3. So, just a minute, my cat is sorry about that. Yeah, so compliant children are more likely to be firstborns, and they are identified from the age of 3. The other identifier or characteristics of compliant children is that they have an easy time and attitude towards authority. They are less likely to rebel, but some do, but they are less likely to rebel. 3% of the sample size that was, or 3% of the 36,000 children that the study was done on were seen to be rebellious in terms of compliant children. So you can see that they are more likely not to rebel as compared to strong-willed children. The fourth point is that they are more likely to be well socially adjusted, so they have a lower chance of being influenced by peer pressure. Personally, before I went through this study, I thought it was the other way around, because strong-willed children are more outspoken. You would think that they would tend to be more, like not susceptible to peer pressure. But apparently it's the other way around, because compliant children are more composed. The study showed that they are less susceptible to peer pressure. And this is good, because that would mean that they are less susceptible to pressures in terms of alcoholism, sexual immorality, and generally all those things that come with peer pressure. They also do very well in school. 5% was evidenced in the last 2 years of this study. So because I think of their very calm nature, they tend to take in more. So they do very well in school. They also have a high esteem in adolescence. This is also one of those ones that caught me off guard. I couldn't imagine that compliant children have more self-esteem in adolescence. So this is evidenced by their lack or their low rate of peer pressure influence as well. And they make friends easily, and they tend to keep their friends longer because they are less combative. The last point is that they make better employees, since they do not have to struggle with authority. I'm not saying that they don't make good leaders, but most employees or most compliant children end up being very good employees because they're good at taking instructions. That said and done, it does not mean that the characteristics I've given are the only characteristics of compliant children and that they are better than strong-willed children. Every temperament has its own advantages and disadvantages, and I feel that it's up to us as parents to identify our children's temperaments early on so that we can learn the negatives and positives of their temperaments and nurture the positive ones and try to mitigate the negative ones so that we don't have problematic teenagers. I also felt the need to share from the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 13 to 18. And the reason I'm sharing is because as much as we are learning, we need to remember that God created our children. He knew them before they were formed in our wombs. He knew who they were going to be. And I would like to encourage us to just look to God to help us demystify this parenting situation because we cannot do it by ourselves. So as I share, I hope this will bless someone. So we're going to read from the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 13 to 18. I'm reading from the NIV version, and it says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God! How vast is the sum of them! Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I wake, I am still with you." I found this so prophetic, guys. Like God knew our children before He even formed them. He knew who they were going to be, regardless of whether your child is strong-willed or whether your child is compliant. God knew them. So that is a call upon us parents because God already knows your child. So if you want to know who your child is and if you want to know the potential your child holds, the only way to do that is for you to look to God, to give you the wisdom and the knowledge to raise this child so that whatever God had ordained in their lives can be fulfilled. So I am talking to you parents. If you want to raise godly children, if you want your children to have a chance at this life and a good one, the only way to do that is to look to God. So this is a call to parents. If you have been struggling with knowing and trying to figure out who your child is, just ask God. He knows. He's the one who created them. I hope this has been a blessing to someone. I also feel like I needed to share. I recently came to discover a YouTube channel, or rather it's actually a YouTube channel called Listener Kids. I'm going to also leave the link in the description box as well to Listener Kids. It is very good in terms of teaching your children about God, and also it's very educative, especially for young children. I recently did a post on the same on my Instagram page, if I'm not wrong. If not, I will do that this week. But I would urge you to look for resources that will help you and your children understand the plan that God has for you as a parent and for us as families. Let us not let the devil take away what we have worked so hard for. You cannot carry this child for 9 months, pay the hospital bills, take this child to school, only for this child to end up in a ditch somewhere or under influence of drugs, alcoholism, pornography. Can we not let the devil take away what we have worked so hard to bring up? Be it if that child is 9 months old, or 1 year old, or 10 or 15, you have invested. You have invested your time, you have invested your resources, you have invested prayers, fear, and worry. You have put in so much. So let's just try and work a bit harder to make sure that the children we are bringing up, we are bringing them up in the ways of the Lord. I will continue to just post these videos. I will just encourage you to let us form a community where we just come to discuss and talk about how we can better our children's lives, how we can give them wisdom that will transverse generations. Let us not let the devil take away our right to be parents. Let us not let the enemy win, for we are greater than that. I thank you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week, and I hope that you guys shall have a blessed week ahead. Thank you.